Okay, good morning. So my name is Naoki Shibata, founder, CEO at XTREME-D Inc. Yes, we are some Japanese HPC startup company. So I have over 16 years of HPC architect when I worked for American HPC hardware vendors. Yes, every time, so our team, the developer, is very young. 20th to 30th. Very difficult to explain to. I worked for the compact deck, using for the deck alpha CPU. So before the presentation, I appreciate to our HPC AI Council to our provided presentation slot for the after keynote session. Very good time, so thank you. So today, so I will also provide a presentation about to explain to our company, our products, our roadmap, and finally, providing short presentation by David, is our technical advisor. So here is regarding, he will provide a presentation with why XTREME-D is very good for HPC cloud solution. Firstly, I introduce my company's history. So XTREME-D is established 4 years ago. So our name is, the flavor's name is XTREME Design Inc., based on Tokyo. So 2016, we raised the seed investment and launching XTREME-DNA, our first product at SG16 at Salt Lake City, collaborating working with the Microsoft headquarters. So we are launching using the Microsoft booth. So moving to the 2017, so we started business to the United States. So there's a Series A round fundraising, and we are contracting to the David as a technical advisor 1.5 years ago. So the last year, so actually 18, we are rebranding the company name. It's changing to XTREME-D Inc. So and they established the U.S. branch. Now the two are some total members in the United States. One for HPC, our CTO is Andre. He's here. So and David is the technical advisor. And now we are finding some more HPC architect and salesperson is right now. So this year we are ready for our company registration in the United States for expanding to the business in the United States. So last SG18 in Dallas, I launched the XTREME-Stargate, our new our HPC cloud platform solution. So today, we are explaining to you some basic architecture with XTREME-Stargate. But currently, XTREME-D has two main services. The name is XTREME-DNA. Well, DNA is our HPC administrators. So our XTREME-DNA can making some virtual HPC cloud cluster on the public cloud just in 10 minutes. If the customer wants to use the 4-node HPC cluster in connecting the InfiniBand solution, including NFS, and set up a job scheduler and development environment just in 10 minutes. If the customer wants to expand into our 64 nodes of HPC clusters, it's also just in 10 minutes is successfully making and easy to management to the checking the billing costs for as a web services. So from the end of last year, so we announced the new product. Name is XTREME-Stargate. So easy to using a pre-built customized HPC system. The meaning is XTREME-D are the managed service provider. They're using for own infrastructure as a service. And we are already the pre-configured HPC large virtual cluster using public cloud. So XTREME-DNA for the HPC administrators. XTREME-Stargate is mainly for the end users. So in this year, so XTREME-DNA merges to our XTREME-Stargate, so that we are successfully making to our some very good and robust and they will use support to the HPC administrators and users at very good HPC platform in this year. So XTREME-Stargate for new HPC cloud solution, it's like managed services. Be a professional team. So our team has a very good skill set as an HPC architect and cloud solution architect. So that we are successfully making some very good HPC platform for HPC, high performance data analytics, and AI deep learning solution. Okay, this is the basic architecture of the XTREME-Stargate. So our XTREME-Stargate, the building blocks in the looks at package as a web services. So the customer easy to check into some billing information, some data management. It selects an HPC template, including application and something setting. The user management and some reporting system from the easy to access in the web browser. So connecting to some XTREME-Stargate infrastructure as a service. So we are already prepared on HPC bare metal infrastructure as a service located at the tier 3 as a very secure data center. So XTREME-DNA also are connecting to the XTREME-Stargate dashboard. So we are easy to making for a virtual HPC cluster using the major public cloud. So AWS, Azure, and Oracle Cloud. So Oracle Cloud is a very good solution for Oracle Cloud is provided by as bare metal service. So also, we are starting to discuss about connecting to the National Supercomputer Center. The first is Japan. So, and some OEM hardware vendors have the very big testbed system. So we are keeping the discuss about connecting the OEM cloud IaaS solution. So our XTREME-Stargate, the main component, as I will explain this. So firstly, our XTREME-Stargate dashboard plus HPC templates. Sophisticated to the easy-to-use UI, UX, and with our data I/O management, and user management, and budget management. So library of templates, so including machine type, OS, the middleware, and applications, which allows the turnkey HPC cluster, the development just in the few minutes. The XTREME-Stargate infrastructure as a service. This infrastructure as a service provides very hard support from the Intel headquarters. So we can get a very strategic plan to get into the Intel hardware. So simple and robust component without accelerators, only for the CPU and SSD solution. So for HPC and HPC data analytics solution, so powered by Intel Xeon CPU, connecting OmniPath architecture, and some using for Intel Optane SSD solutions. And so for software development tool, Intel provided the Intel Power Studio as a monthly subscription included. So HPC gateway is the appliance, looks like appliance for connecting to the between client side to the cloud data center. Function as looks like a super head node for HPC clusters. For HPC cloud cluster providing secure and seamless access to the on-premise private public cloud as a bare metal cloud. It's here. So what kind of technical differentiation the other competitors? So as you can see, the competitors mainly the SI service, the manual, making the HPC cluster manually. So usually it takes them 3 weeks to set up. So starting to some design discussion, prepare infrastructure as a service, installing the HPC middleware, the software, and checking system and performance tuning. It's like 3 weeks to set up. They first discuss system design, yes. So on their hand, so XTREME-DNA and Stargate only take 2 or 1 step. Only for the selecting HPC template, including some, what kind of application the customer do you want to use. And just clicking on the HPC template, the customer only for just wait. Because of our service is set up is an infrastructure service, and automatically it will be only will take 10 minutes. It's a huge difference for the other competitors. So, okay. This is some of the user interface. So our customer easy to use. What kind of application is the customer easy to click into some template. So and the next step, so the customer selecting to our tailor-made pre-configured clusters. And the next step, so our customers manage the data, maybe uploading from the on-premise or some management from downloading the objects straight to the cloud data center. So after that, the customer, the easy to using or the manipulating to the customer's workbench. So XTREME-Stargate provided to Jupyter Notebook solution. And if the customers want to use the command line interface, we are prepared to interface to the command line interface. Or if the customers or users, developers, want to connect from the customer's application, so we are also provided to some API for the access to our system. So this next slide is a little bit confidential slide. So XTREME-Stargate custom-made production infrastructure as a service in the first half of this year. So currently, we are available to XTREME-Stargate infrastructure as a service generation 1. So CPU type is using Intel latest CPU, Xeon Skylake processors. So the max CPU cores per users, we are available to over 320 cores per user by bare metal servers connecting the OmniPath architecture. So power file system also available to the customers. So white label Glacier is very unique and high performance SSD solution provided by Intel. So now the pre-production by Intel, but our infrastructure as a service already available to the using for the customers. For from the next year, next month, or maybe March or April, so we are prepared some XTREME-Stargate infrastructure as a service generation 2, changing the CPU type for the Intel Cascade Lake latest CPU. So we already get into the our shipment. So maybe if Intel the public announced dates, we are providing the same day as the Intel public announced. So also provide repair Glacier, very fast CPU SSDs moving to the production system. So and also our services provided Intel persistent memory, meaning in the memory slot type of SSDs. The customers expanding a huge memory space using the SSD solution for HPC or HPC data analytics solution. So layered storage is the step into our staging of the mechanism. So our infrastructure as a service to the prepares the many layers of the memory and SSDs. So of course, using for customers starting from the main memory. And this LED is very important. So our infrastructure as a service included persistent memory, and memory storage is a factor is PCIe slots, and DC4500 is a ruler type of the SSD, very fast CPU. This is the bar of SSDs. So if the customers are starting to the workload, so our system automatically is staging to the which is SSD is very good for the customer's solution. This is automatic staging. If the ending to some customer's workload, the result data, the customer data is moving to the object storage for the very reasonable storage. So this is a very good and unique solution. So we are available to announce to also more detail of these things for maybe next April or something. Okay. So one more page for XTREME-D's previous HPC managed cluster is instance lineup. So already some expanded our original infrastructure as a service, the full power large memory designed by XTREME-D is supported by Intel headquartered HPC team. So for HPC and AI data analytics, we are preparing shared bare metal instances or dedicated instances for the specific customers. This is the customizable. So for a more reasonable solution, so we are prepare some tailor-made managed cluster using for AWS. So virtual cluster, also designed by our company. But this solution is very cost-effective. So and some AWS is available to the government cloud data center. So we are planning to connecting to our government cloud data center. Now it's under development. So Oracle Cloud is very important solution. So bare metal cluster, but designed by XTREME-D. So also providing as a managed clusters, including GPU, locking. And reasonable data downstream is many other public cloud is spending more money for the downstreaming the data. So Oracle Cloud has a very unique plan for a very reasonable to downstream data stream. Also, Microsoft Azure, so the virtual cluster designed by our company. So Microsoft Azure available to connecting InfiniBand solution. So customer easy to choosing the what kind of tailor-made private managed cluster is very good for the customers. Of course, we are is recommended to by our system. Okay, so now some XTREME-Stargate is a pre-production right now. So we already starting to the POC and MVP customers already started using. So also are available in the United States. If the customers and all attendees are very interested in our products, so I can explain more detail of the offline. So and today, so I'm staying to here. So please ask me about we can provide it to also more technical detail. So Andre, our CTO, also provided more technical detail. So the attendees, please people ask to or ask. So finally, our technical advisor, David, provided to some short presentation about some market analysis and some conclusion slides. Okay, David.
Okay. So I'll be very brief here, just to close this short talk here. Just to take a, I think I'll just talk to the mic here. You can hear me okay, no? I think, yeah. So just to remind ourselves where we are on the market here, so there is a huge amount of HPC work that's moving to the cloud, and even more so when we look at the data analytics, it's a very growing market, and as you know, it's kind of being embedded now with the HPC type of computations because of the system requirements. Same applies to the amount of data that's sitting there, and of course now with AI joining the party. So when we say HPC now, as we heard with the keynote before too, we actually mean simulations and both simulation, HPDA, and AI, all kind of combined under a single umbrella when you talk about the system that needs to be done. How do I move forward? Okay. So just to close it here, we want to talk about why people moving to the cloud. So there is the need of, I cannot see it even from here, and this is small, but I need to. The advantages of cloud is you keep up to date with new technologies. It's much harder to do it in-house, and also the cost of updating or starting a new facility. So it makes the use of the clouds more plausible and desirable. In addition, there's shortage of talent for HPC, in particular for technical computing, as well as IT support, as well as the amount of work fluctuates. It's very difficult to tailor on-prem facility that will be optimized for not wasteful and being sufficient. So the use of cloud, of course, means you use as you need, when you need. So all this kind of gives reasons for people to move to the cloud. In addition, one other point is that people in-house, there is such a much work done now with a huge amount of data, which is impossible to put in every different place, but you have it in a single provided data center that for multiple users, multiple usages, it's possible to keep in-house. So from that one, we saying as what XTREME-D here brings into the party is that much of the advantages of having the cloud kind of goes away when it becomes difficult to get to it, when it takes days or weeks to configure and to get the system running. It's very difficult to make the argument of on demand when every time you need to create a system, it takes you several days. So the products that Naoki has described before allows you to do it within minutes instead of weeks, which gives an advantage of, it keeps the advantages, the potential advantages of the cloud usage in the first place. What's the last point? So we have a product that removes some of the obstacles here with that one. And in conclusion, I think that the XTREME-D products feel a need that is missing here when kind of big volume technical AI simulation use on the cloud. And with that, we'll conclude. I don't know if there is time for questions or not. Who is the organizer here? You allow questions? Who is that? No.
You guys announced HPC as a service. Is that running in the US or is that Japan now?
Yes. Currently, we are some potential customers in Japan and the United States. So we are expanding to 3 regions: Japan, United States, and Singapore. Yes. So in the United States and Singapore, so we are already started to collaborate working with the American very big data center company.